Owen's going to be at the back doing my slides, flicking them over and then he's going to swap. So we've got kind of two halves to this. One is, first half is me just talking a little bit about what we do and a little bit about how we do it. We'll do a few short slides on that and some examples of the projects we work with. And then Owen's going to give you some of the insight into kind of how we work, which follows on really nicely with this conversation we're having there about kind of how you adapt to Agile in a very easy way to start a bit at a time and start moving it forward and start seeing the results and then start doing it more and also influencing people to do it. I think there's lots of stuff, lots of learnings we've got about how people don't want to take to and resistance to it and resistance to changing the way that they work and that's a whole other talk. But anyway, let's go through. So there's basically about 5 types of crowdfunding in the industry and can't quite see the one on the left because of the lighting, but donation crowdfunding, so you're kind of just giving, GoFundMe, we're raising some money, it's going to go to charity, there's that side of it. There's rewards crowdfunding, which is the kind of heartland of what we do, which is much more about someone's backing a project and getting something tangible in return for that. It's the sort of stuff that we do, Kickstarter does, Indiegogo does, a lot of tech projects in there. We've kind of taken that model and taken that to more of a community project, so we're doing that with community projects all over the country. Community shares, which is a great model we're using at the moment to allow people to buy things such as local pubs, local town halls, and taking over local assets that they really care about. And then it goes into things like peer-to-peer lending as crowdfunding and equity as crowdfunding as well. We do the 3 on the left, we don't do the 2 on the right. The reason being these are regulated by the FCA. There's a lovely article, it shows you how confused the industry still is about this whole spectrum, because there's a lovely article on the BBC this morning about the FCA wanting to regulate these more, and then when they used examples for sites, they used us, Kickstarter and Indiegogo as examples of people doing this, when the 3 of us don't do this. So that's on the BBC, that's BBC journalists doing that, so it's quite funny to see. So that's kind of the spectrum, and I'm going to talk to you a little about the 3 on the left. So this is a little bit about what we've done over the last 4 years from our little surf shop in Newquay. So we've now raised over £30 million, so these slides get out of date very, very quickly, but raised over £30 million. We've worked with 55,000 projects across the UK. In our first month, me and Owen had 4 projects coming to us 4 years ago, so it's growing really fast now. We get about 150 projects in a day at the moment, and the team are busy working with those, so we have a team that are based upstairs from here. We're busy talking to all those projects and guiding them on what crowdfunding is. So we want to be really hands-on with those projects, we want to help them through, so we're a tech platform, but we're also a crowdfunding service, if you like, that's helping people through that transition on how they crowdfund. The bit I'm going to talk a little bit about here as well is on the partner funding distribution. So we realised quite early on that the crowd has a huge part to play in this. We've got 750,000 people who've used our site to pledge on projects. But also we work with a lot of partners who want to put money into those projects. We're working with people like Santander. Santander is currently putting £200,000 into social enterprises on our platform. That's in £10,000 chunks. If you crowdfund with us and raise £10,000, you may be able to get another £10,000 from Santander as well. So we're also doing that with people like Plymouth Council, Birmingham Council, Nesta, Arts Council, Heritage Lottery Fund. Everybody who's kind of funding the same projects that we're funding. We're talking about how we match those funds with the crowd. So in terms of the projects that we love to work with, it's really the whole spectrum. So we work right from kind of start-up businesses right over to charities at the other end, and the real sweet spot of the stuff we love is the social enterprise work. These are businesses through and through that have got a real good social purpose. They crowdfund really well because people want to see them succeed, they want to see them happen, and they do struggle to find funds elsewhere as well. So it's a perfect match. It's something we've been doing for the last few years quite well. So this is a great example of a project that's on the go at the moment. These guys, More United, were on the politics show today at lunchtime. Got a nice crowdfunder mention in there, which is really good. Nice article in the Guardian yesterday, and they're raising £250,000 to start funding political candidates that match their ideals. So, kind of progressive candidates, generally pro-European, who are that they want to back across the UK for local elections. So They did a lot of work to get Sarah Olney elected in the Richmond by-election, get Zach Goldsmith out, and we've had 4,500 backers so far, so that should tip over 5,000 in the next couple of days. This is a project we would have been working with for about 6 months before, so we've had lots of conversations with them beforehand about how they build up their social media presence, how they build up their email lists. So they had about an email list of about 30,000 people before they'd started their campaign. And then we do a lot of stuff on the tactics around how you launch that campaign. So bits about kind of a closed launch to start with. They went 24 hours on a closed launch to get the numbers up, get the motoring before they're talking about it on Twitter and Facebook. Nobody wants to see a project that's sitting there on £0. They're not going to fund it. So it's all about that kind of staggered release of the project and getting it funded. So they should hit their 250 probably in the next week or so. They've got 13 days left. That's a great one we want to work with. This is another project that I totally love at the moment, which is yoga for refugees. They're now up to this size, a little bit out of their lives, they're now up to about £12,000. And it's a lovely lady, Emily, who's based in Hackney, who's doing yoga for refugees, as it says, but it's all about integrating refugees into society, getting them out of the house, getting them doing stuff. There's a lot of people who come to this country in that situation who've been through some very, very traumatic situations. They have huge amounts of sleep problems, and she's using yoga to basically get them out, getting mingling with other people, get them integrated back into society. Really simple way of doing it. She's working with about 200 refugees at the moment, and she wants to scale that up to about 500. Obviously, the demand for that is growing hugely. Funding for that is drying up, so she's using the crowd to help fund that activity and bring that through. Freedom Bakery. This is a great one in Scotland. It's basically a bakery that's inside a prison in Glasgow, and they're teaching prisoners basically how to bake artisan croissants and pain au chocolat and lovely things like that. Partly to give them a trade, give them something that they can do, partly to keep them busy and keep their minds focused on stuff. There was a crazy stat that John from Freedom Bakery gave me, which was that if they can keep a prisoner out of prison after he comes out, it's worth £950,000 to the Scottish Government to keep them out of prison. Because it's the reoffending rate is so high, then the likelihood to actually be on benefits when prison is so high that actually if they get them into work, they're still worth an absolute fortune, so they may as well fund activities like this to try and keep people out of prison. And then lastly on the examples here is the community channel. So these guys are on channel, it's like 87 of Freeview. If you've ever stumbled across it, it's a fantastic channel where they're going all over the country filming stuff. It was lottery funded for the first few years. Lottery funding has dried up. They're like, what do we do next? How do we keep this going? How do we keep it sustainable? And they basically did a community share issue through us. So they are the first community-owned TV channel, national TV channel in the country. And they've had 302 investors, which included Sky. So they started doing this and they actually got Sky to put up some money into this as well, which helped get them over the line, which is absolutely fantastic. So they're now continuing to operate, expanding their operations, hiring a few more people and continue to move it forward. Another great example of the crowdfunding working. Just a little bit about our growth so far. So this is kind of when we started back in 2014. This is where we are now this year so far. So we've already kind of doubled last year already. Should end up with about 18 million for this year. And we see nothing but continued growth in this sector, especially as kind of grants or other things dry up. Small businesses find it harder and harder to get loan financing. More and more people are turning to crowdfunding to kind of make their stuff happen, which has been really interesting. We get lots and lots of weird, wonderful, different projects every day. And this is a little blip. I thought you guys might like this. So this is our Google Analytics traffic graph, which is normally fairly standard. We've got about 2,000 projects running at any one point across the site, and they're all doing stuff. And occasionally we get blips. And the first one on the left was we were featured in Grand Designs on the Tuesday. And that was a project called Otter Farm, who basically crowdfunded with us last year to crowdfund their winery. So they raised £70,000 to build a winery next to his vineyard. It went out on Grand Designs. We were featured in the programme. We've got a nice traffic blip. We had about 20,000 people on the site at that moment, which is fantastic. And then 2 nights later was the crowdfunding on The Apprentice, if anyone saw it. We weren't actually featured as a company on there, but everyone goes to Google, types in crowdfunding, finds us, goes straight to the site. Normally get 150 projects in a day, we had 500 get added that day, and the team were very busy the next day trying to work through them and work with them all. But it just shows from us as a tech platform as well, the stuff that we need to be prepared for, because we are getting bursts of stuff coming through and then dropping out. We got a tweet last year from Louis Tomlinson from One Direction, went out to 17 million people, and the site just went nuts. You just see it right to full throttle. So it's a lot of our challenges at the moment is that scaling up of the technology and how we do that and how we move forward. So the only thing I'll say is, so Owen's going to talk through a few slides of kind of how we've done stuff internally. We've gone from literally, 4 people, me and Owen, when we started back in January 2014, from 4 people to 27 people now. The tech team has grown substantially, the design, the product management with that. We've definitely had some challenges around how we scale up and how we keep concentrating on the stuff that we know makes a real difference to our users. And we definitely had some challenges this year as we scaled up very, very quickly. This year we went from kind of 13 to 27 in the space of 12 months. So we've had to kind of really rethink how we're doing stuff. And I literally went, I spent the summer in Bulgaria, and I came back and I spent the first 3 days back Agile on the beach, which was fantastic. It was a great kind of, absorb myself in that. And there's a couple of things that stood out for me from that. And one was that people don't always know they're on a team. There's one thing that one of the speakers said there, that actually, do people actually understand what team they're on and what they're trying to achieve? And that's something that stuck with me really well. We came back and we really went through a lot around that. And the other thing was trying to focus on the smallest possible thing you can that's going to have the biggest impact, and focusing on that. And so we've done a lot of that, and I was going to talk about that in a bit more detail. So I'll pass over to him.
Thank you. Well, Phil's loading up. So I've been at Crowdfunder about almost 5 years now. Before that, I was kind of running various tech teams. I've probably been running tech teams for about 15 years really. I've done a variety of stuff. Work for Red Bull and interactive games for Cadbury's and all sorts of weird and wonderful things. My career highlight before here was I got nominated for a BAFTA for a game I made, but I lost to Peppa Pig, so that's my highlight, losing to Peppa Pig. But I realised in the last few months or so, for those 15 years, I've actually been pretty bad at what I've been doing and running tech teams really badly. So I'm going to show some slides about the way I've kind of changed up and grown as a person and grown as someone doing squad work. So here we go. So the way we were working before is it was a very kind of that's me. The way we were working before is very kind of waterfall-y, I suppose. I don't know if you're familiar about management term, where I would kind of do the wireframing and kind of scope out the idea, then I'll pass it to the design guys and they'll design it, and then they'll pass it to the dev guys, and at that point it would start to go wrong because what I had kind of scoped out wasn't quite being designed. They kind of seen something else and designed it their way, and then the dev guys get it and they're like, well, why are you doing it this way? It's going to be really hard, we should have done this way instead. And then I spend all my time just trying to get what I thought was the best vision through, thinking I'm the one who knows how it works. And it has ended in tears. And we had a designer crying recently. Well, pre 6 months ago. So it was pretty bad, to be honest. We were getting stuff done, but it was kind of really burning people out and upsetting people. I'm not saying I've done that for the whole of my last 15 years, because it's pretty close. So we went to Agile on the Beach, which I very much recommend. I'm not under commission from Blender or anything. It's a really good conference and it's well worth going to. We went to a couple of talks. One was about Google Design Sprints, which was really interesting, well worth looking into. And another one was about something called FizzGood, which is about making stuff that's frequent, small, decoupled, and good. And we kind of mashed those together and realised that we weren't working as a team. We were basically working as a series of chiefs, just trying to push stuff through and kind of bulldoze ideas through and just get stuff done, and then hopefully the kind of customer would like it. But what we've done is really flip that model around, and now we're working in these super happy, amazing squads. So the way it works here is it's very autonomous, it's very decoupled. Previously when we were trying to get stuff done, I remember when I was trying to get one feature out, I had to get sign-off from 18 people around the business, and all of them had slightly different ideas, all of them had slightly different ways to input, and that's even before I've kind of shown it to the design and tech teams. So that's again another kind of 10, 15 people to get stuff through. So we decided, right, that's just not working. So let's pull away from this kind of sign-off hell and make it so that the teams working on the features can actually get stuff done. And let's make it so that the teams working on the features actually work on it from the start together. And let's make it consensus-driven, so we all actually design as a team what we're doing, so we all got complete buy-in on what we're working on. Next slide, please. So the way we form the squads, very small, just 4 people working on it, and we have a decider. So the decider is the person who has the kind of final say if needed, like if we can't decide on 2 things to do, they'll decide on the 1 thing to do. We have a facilitator, and all they're trying to do is just keep things moving forward, make sure there's no blockages in the decision process. We also had a lot of problems last year with folks working remotely. It didn't help as well that our design team was remote and our tech team were here, so often the design team would kind of pass a design there, but they wouldn't interact. The dev team would do something that wasn't quite right, pass it back to the design team, and the design team would get fed up and send like a PDF of 18 track changes on it, just be silly. So, I don't know if you guys have heard of Stack Overflow, but they're like a big kind of dev company, and they have got 100 developers all over the world. And the way they work is if one person's remote, everyone works remotely. So we've done a similar thing. So in the team of 4 people, if the facilitator was remote, I would work remote, and the 2 guys working here would work in one room. So it's kind of weird, like I was in the same office, but I was working as if I was remotely. But that means your communications get really, really tight. You don't get into a position where you're just having a conversation over here and the person remote can't understand what's going on. So we've got a stakeholder comms person as well. That's someone who's kind of going around just talking to the different people you might want to input into it. And then we have someone to present out the wins. So that's the person who says to the team, hey, we've got this idea, here's what we've done. When we did our squad, we actually had the newest person in the company, she'd only been in the company for about 3 days, be the decider, because it felt like I purposely didn't want myself to be either a decider or a facilitator, because I really didn't want to kind of bulldoze any ideas through. I just wanted to take myself completely out of it. So yeah, the person who was brand new acted as the decider, which was really good. The person working remotely was a facilitator, which again worked really well. I didn't do the stakeholder comms person, but then another new guy, he'd only been here like about 6 months, got to present the wins. It was really good for him, his career. So onwards. So what is the squad doing? Onwards again. So the way we work is rather than kind of wireframing and scoping out one big piece of work, then passing it to design, and passing it to dev, and hoping what you wanted kind of gets out with the back of it. We're very much focused on gathering ideas from the initial team. So we kind of go around everyone. And here's the example. It's kind of an e-commerce one, but we're trying to work out how to get more people pledging on the website. Get more people to donate and get more people to put money in. So we went around the customer support teams, the marketing teams, the biz dev teams, and just sat them all in the room and just gave them each 10 minutes to say, what are the 10 things that are really annoying you? What are the kind of the major blockages that you think there are? Then we took them all back, put them all in one big list, and just went through and identified, okay, what do you think the wins could be out of those? We've got everyone's input. What are the common themes coming through? What can we break down into the smallest possible thing to test and actually get it up on the website? Because that's what we really want to do as well. We didn't want to be working on features for like a month and then put it live and then test it. We want to be working on something for a half a day or a day and get it up and test it and see what happens the next day. And then iterating on that and then picking the next idea. So it's very fast-paced, moving really quickly, but also not being afraid to fail. And part of the beauty of the squads is, A, it's autonomous. You don't really have to get everything signed off by the whole company because it's a test. And if it goes wrong, it doesn't matter. You just roll back to test. And we've got a lot of stuff through, especially like the creative directors and even through Phil, who traditionally might have been like, we're not doing that. And I'm like, well, it's just a test. We're just going to try it. And then you win by seeing the numbers and the improvements. And then, if I'm getting 100 extra projects in a day, Phil can't argue with that. So it's very much data-driven wins, which is really good. Takes a lot of the emotion out. What we're finding before, because everyone's very kind of emotionally attached to the business, and also a fair amount of egos as well. Doing this approach kind of cuts through that because it's very data driven, it's based on the numbers. This test we've done has made it better. Yes, it's a big orange button when you wanted a blue button, but the orange button is better and we can prove it. So it's a really nice way of doing it, getting ideas from getting up quickly. Next slide, please. So, how have the squads done? So one thing we did, I think this might even been the first thing we did, is we looked at the homepage, and there used to be a big button at the top of the homepage saying Add Project. And we kind of stepped back and realised that over the past 4 years, we've kind of become a bit inbred, I suppose, in that we've got our own language for stuff, and there's words that we use which probably people in the real world don't actually use. And we've got kind of our own lexicon, our own dictionary, and we looked at kind of Add Project, and we kind of stepped back and said, does that kind of infer that, you know, A, you've got a project, and B, you're kind of ready to go, and by clicking that button, does that mean that people think they might be going live on the website straight away? And we just kind of realised we've just been kind of stuck in our own pockets, I suppose. So we changed it to start crowdfunding, and lo and behold, we almost got like a quarter more projects going from the homepage. It was pretty insane. And that was just literally changing 2 words. That took about an hour to change, and changing those 2 words, I think it's worth, based on our current numbers, an extra 1.3 million in revenue. Just 2 words, it's bonkers. Another thing we changed is, you know, we thought, okay, cool, let's kind of have these big graphics on the homepage to show everyone how cool we are and all the good stuff we've done. And now we've just got a blue button that says Start Crowdfunding. And again, that's something that we just tested really quickly. The numbers just completely surprised us about how many projects, how many more coming in. And again, that was something that the creative director was like, I really want a big image, it looks amazing, it's really cool. And I was able to say, look, yeah, it's good, but a blue button has been quite transformative to our business. So, and again, we're able to do that really quickly, isn't it, in a couple of days getting that through. Another test we've done was we installed a tool on our website called Hotjar. And Hotjar is really cool and really creepy, but I recommend it. It lets you do, it does live recordings of people on the website, so you can see what they're doing, you can watch their mouses moving around and clicking on things. It's very big brother. We have done stuff like masking out credit card numbers and postcodes so they don't get put into the recordings. But what we noticed is on our flow of adding a project, one user, we recorded them putting their mouse down here and kind of wiggling around. We realised we didn't have a next step button. We always thought, hey, we've got these cool tabs on the top, it's going to be really easy, everyone will get that. And this poor person literally spent 3 minutes just... So, next slide please. We put a next button on, and yeah, conversion rates went up by about 10%, so we just got loads more people filling it out. And it's really just taking a step back and looking at our users and looking at the data and not thinking that we're going to build this big amazing solution and take a month on it. Just actually look at what people are doing on the website, look at the words they're using, look at the basic stuff. It looks really basic now. I mean, having a next button is pretty obvious, but we just kind of snowblind to it. I've been working on the site for 4 years, and I was kind of snowblind to it, I suppose. Another thing we've done is a really simplified sign-up process. So on the left, you can't see the word so well, but we were asking people for their name, what city they're in, how much they're looking for, the phone number, you know, all pretty obvious stuff. When you want to kind of create a project, you think those are pretty obvious things. But again, when we looked in Hotjar, I remember seeing this one lady who started typing in project name, and started typing in, and then she's like, no, that's not quite right. So she deleted it, and then she added it a bit more. And you could tell she was like, I have to get this right, this is going to be my name on the website, it has to be perfect. And I watched her for 7 minutes this recording took, and she finally got the one that she wanted, the title that she wanted, tabbed out, and it threw up a warning saying your title's too long, so the poor person had spent 7 minutes and then she just closed her browser. And we realised we were just asking for way too much stuff, so we changed it to your name and your email address, because really that's all we need. We just need name and email. And again, conversion rates went up by about 15%, which, you know, when we saw that step change of projects being added, you know, we were getting about 400 projects a week coming in. It went up to 1,000 after that. And yes, some people aren't filling out the information on the next step, but we have got their email address, so we can remarket them, we can keep talking to them, and we've got an